Isn't this a phenomenal image to just kind of mark what happened to E3, where you have this like under construction, the wireframe? I think that just like summarizes everything that has happened in the last few years with E3. This article comes from gamesindustry.biz. I'll post a link in the description below, so go check it out for yourself. But it says that PAX organizer ReedPop will not be working on future E3 events. Now, ReedPop, if you're not following along at home, is this conglomerate of this exhibition company that has grown in magnitude. It feeds into another part of a kind of parent organization, but ultimately they are responsible for doing a lot of events. They also own Gamer Network. They also own Eurogamer. They also own VG247, and they also own Rock Paper Shotgun. They're also responsible for the organization of PAX as well as the New York Comic Con. So these guys are absolutely no strangers to putting together larger than life events. Clearly, as I mentioned, all of the video game journalism hooks they have, they should be aware and tracking of what the industry wants to see. But yet, let's go back to the article. The ESA has also informed the Los Angeles Convention Center that it will not be putting on a show there in 2024. The ESA has not yet canceled plans for 2024, but if one was to happen, it won't take place there. ReedPop, the parent company of GamesIndustry.biz, shockingly enough, the article I'm reading from, has signed a multi-year deal with E3 in 2023. However, the first effort failed, and they had to cancel the 2023 show. And now they have announced that they are going to cancel their partnership altogether, and E3 once again gets thrown to the wolves for somebody else to come along and to make it happen. ReedPop says that they've enjoyed their time working with the ESA and appreciate their commitment to the game industry. We won't be involved anymore, but we look forward to seeing where the evolution goes. So what exactly did you guys do? Nothing. I guess you got paid a ton of dough to maybe start to put together this idea. Yes, let's go back to the well. Yes, let's put this event at the Los Angeles Convention Center. Shocking, I know. And then after we do all that, then we'll start figuring out what the actual show is. And they couldn't get it going. Remember when E3 was going to be the streamer event, and it was going to be a lot of media influencers, and there was going to be a lot of people showing up, and they were trying to figure out a combination of a physical and a digital environment. Well, I can tell you from my little slice of heaven, the world has largely gotten back to normal. Yes, there is definitely some benefit of teleworking, for example. And yes, you can order stuff online and have people bring it out to your car. But people are just as willing to go back into stores, at least around me. We're going back to work on a very regular basis at this point in the office. And largely the fear of kind of being away from others has waned away. I'm surprised that they couldn't figure out how to do the same thing with E3 when you think about it, because there's really just, so much that could be done. And yes, while PlayStation and Nintendo and Xbox are still committed to putting on their state of plays and, the Xbox Bethesda Showcase and the Nintendo Direct, there were still a lot of reputable, larger companies out there that I think would have greatly benefited from having a physical presence. But for whatever reason, ReedPop just couldn't seem to figure it out. And once again, E3 continues to slip into obscurity. At this point, if there was an event, they would really have to sell it in such a way that get people so over the top excited that, you know, they couldn't miss it. And really, the first E3 back, whenever that is, if that ever happens again, is going to have to be a lot of trial and error. And I think only journalists who are actually paid to go out and cover this will be the only ones in attendance, which they like anyway. But I don't think them opening it up to the public would make a lot of sense initially, because a lot of people are going to be very skeptical about what exactly E3 is going to be like. Without missing a beat, right after this article drops, I mean like literally seconds later, your boy Jeff Keighley pulls out his daggers and writes, "Hey everyone, next June, Summer Game Fest returns to Los Angeles for a spectacular celebration of what's next in gaming. Stay tuned for upcoming details in future months." All right, so there's going to be no details on this until realistically probably like January, February of 2024. So why does Jeff like to put this stuff out early? Well, it's because Jeff is Jeff. And you could see the reactions from people realizing, hey man, you are absolutely kicking the E3 dudes completely down, which is largely hysterical. How fast people are responding, saying, wow, you know, you just kind of, you know, jumped and just absolutely shattered the remnants of E3. Bruce Leroy writes, does he have a beef with E3 or something? Every time there's bad news regarding E3, he plugs Summer Game Fest. It comes off as petty. Savage Jeff at work. And you could just see, you know, Jeff every time something happens to E3, man, every time he hypes his show, I'm more hyped for it. Who's going to jump on stage next? I see what you did there, and on and on and on. So as the ashes burn on E3, well, Jeff Keighley's throwing a big old FU party. I don't know the history between Jeff Keighley and what happened at the E3 event. It was definitely under different management, as I just stated. ReedPop was only working on it, you know, for the last year or so. Jeff Keighley's hatred for this goes much deeper. I think Jeff Keighley's response to the shattered remains of E3 is actually more interesting than E3 absolutely falling apart, because I've covered it so many times and there's still nothing to report. And I still think that myself and a lot of other dedicated gaming fans could put on a pretty fun event, even if you took away the big three pillars. They obviously haven't figured it out, but Jeff has. So there you have it, the latest and greatest on the rise and fall of ReedPop, the continued shattered remains of E3, and Jeff Keighley, the troll of trolls. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.